is Martin Horner, and we are principal of the interior architecture design firm in Chicago by the name of Soucie Horner Unlimited. This is my partner, Soucie. We
Martin and I met at the Art Institute in our, it was our junior years, I believe, and ended up working at another interior architecture and design firm for about 5.5 years together, and then in 2000 went out and started our own business. And we've been in business now 8 years and have a staff of 25 people, give or take a few, depending on how busy we are. And we have a staff of interior architects, and designers. And then we have about 5 to 6 admin people in the office that help support the designers and architects.
primarily do high-end residential interior design work based in Chicago, but we also work in California, Florida, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Mexico.
Right, so all over the
Colorado.
place. I mean, we pride ourselves on the fact that a lot of the clients are pre-existing clients. We're doing second and third homes, and so we really try. We've tried hard to build a really strong relationship with our clients so that they're return clients and they're clients for lifetime. And so that's really what we're set out to do. Our belief is that we design for them. It's not necessarily Martin and I style. It's really client driven in terms of, so that our design is different across the board so that the client feels like it's their home in the end. After 24 months of working with a client, we leave and walk away. And our favorite thing is that a client says that they love their home and it feels like them. And that's really what we strive to do in our design style.
Each project is very, very specific and very different. Sometimes we are the interior architects, and sometimes we're kind of acting as the architectural firm if it's a vintage building where you don't have a core and shell. We do restorations, renovations, we get involved in landscape design, we get art consulting, people get involved in anything that somebody asks us to. We have a thirst for new things and knowledge and changing things out. So we've designed furniture, we've designed rugs for people, we design custom light fixtures. I mean, truly anything that we could come up with, we have an opportunity to design, we're going to do that. And a lot of times we consult with people. We're consulting with the landscape architect, coming up with what we want kind of as a function, color material, the plant material, and then they take it from there. So it's kind of a collaboration of a lot of
Right, it goes back to
things.
the collaboration. When you build trust with the client and you've been the one that's kind of helping them develop the design and style of their home and how it's going to function, it naturally spills over into the fact that they're going to ask you about all the other pieces and parts that go into the home. Like, the patio and how the terrace is going to fall, kind of filter off of a family room or a living room, and how you're going to entertain out there. And so it really requires all that collaboration with the different parts or the different subcontractors that are involved, like a landscape designer, so that they understand what we've done on the inside of the house. So in the end, when we all leave, it functions like one family wants it to.
Right,
And
because
so it goes back to that whole
You have
concept.
to think about the inside materials to the outside materials and make sure they're collaboration. Also, you have to think about the outside of the building and making sure it looks together. You don't want to have one style on the outside and the other style on the inside, and then the terrace is something totally different. So we try to look at the project as a big whole. Is it, what you're stepping on from the outside into the inside. You want to kind of carry that material through.
Interior design is interesting. I mean, you become an expert and required to know a lot of different parts of the trade. When I started this in design school, if somebody would ask me if I was designing terraces, I would have kind of laughed. But you end up doing that, or you have to be an expert on appliances because you're designing the kitchen for them, and they're naturally going to ask you, well, what I use is the dishwasher, and you tell them, and then they're like, why? You have to be an expert on all the different dishwashers that are on the market at that point in time. You become an expert in lighting, you become all these different pieces and parts, and you have to know when you don't know, and being able to rely on outside consultants for that at that given time is a really important part of the process, and you learn from all of them. The relationships with people, is really why, because there's a lot of days where you're like, why am I doing this? Why is this worth it? But it's worth it when we get the phone call at the end of the day and they say, what, I love my home. I just got an email from a client last night. We spent all yesterday just kind of working through moving things all over and trying to get her to understand the concept of what we were doing. And at the end of the day, she emailed me. She's like, I'm sitting in my living room and I love it. That's why I do it.
I love the initial process of kind of the creation part of it. Obviously, at the end, when the client loved their home, that's the ultimate goal, the ultimate satisfaction. But my favorite part of the job is creating the palette and kind of creating the vision. Yesterday we had 2 client meetings, both were those exact same days, and it was such a big high for me because it could be anything. Nothing was set. It could
Right.
be anything you want it to be, and you created 4 different things, and a client came in and they saw it, and they went one direction. You're sitting here, and at the end of the project, or end of the meeting, you had this kind of, you could see the palette, you could see the colors, you could see the style.
An aha moment.
Yeah, it was like, and everyone was so excited, and it was different than just, well, you could have this or this. It was truly, you had to kind of create it and sell it and have them envision it, because you're showing them a piece of fabric, and you're showing them a cut sheet, and you're showing them an elevation that they might not understand. So you had to kind of visualize this to them. And I did that twice yesterday. It was a great day for me. It was like driving home. I was so excited because it was.
Right, I think one thing that doesn't get translated into school, at least not when I was there, is you present projects, but you're presenting them just kind of as, well, this is what I did. Instead of, when you're with a client, you're selling them. And you have to understand that, we have people hire us, they hire us, and we have in our firm, we have really great budgets to work with. So we can basically, you dream it up, we can do it. But you have to be able to sell what it is that you're thinking and what your design is and get them excited about it. And that's something that, it's hard for people to do. You have to practice that. You have to believe in yourself. It takes a lot of confidence to be in front of a client, because the more excited you are about it, it just kind of filters over into
excited.
them, and then they get excited, and then they buy into the concept, and it rolls. And then once you've sold them, that's kind of the first step, and then it takes the execution part of it. And throughout our whole lives, it's this much design and this much execution. I mean, it really is probably 85% execution on what it is that you've dreamed up through the project. And with that, you have to maintain trust. I mean, you have to understand what the process is in order to make it enjoyable for a client, so that they, at the end of the day, are happy about what happened. Don't feel like it was such a, that they're just exhausted about the process, where they can't even see through that to enjoy what it is that you've created for them. So, design is about design, but there's so much more around it that makes it kind of successful at the end of the day.